Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday, April 26, 2021, boys and girls. Welcome back. Glad you made it. Who was that? It was Doom Flamingo. F16, dude. Check it out. Shout out. Love music. Love music, man. Makes your gives you a little bit of extra hop in your step. I want to share that with you guys. Go check him out. Doom Flamingo. Man, oh man. Man, oh woman. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all safe and sound wherever you are. Here we are doing it again. It's another Monday. Circling back. Going back in circles. Doing spirals. Doing cartwheels. Doing all sorts of circling and going around. Just going around. That's what it is, man. Hope you guys have had a great weekend. Let's recap. My week was good. It was good. Last week was a little bit, let's go back to Monday. Monday, I think, again, I have those certain days where I do a shoot. I'm relatively happy with it. I can move on, do the next thing, concentrate on making it better. And then there are some days that whatever, you're going through your feelings, you're going through like whatever, you may be unhappy with a little bit of work, you may be a little bit unhappy with this, a little bit, you're just trying to make it better, right? That's what I'm trying to do. I reassess everything. I go look at the videos. I'm like, man, you should have done this, should have done it. Trying to make it better. That's what I'm trying to do. But besides that, there's sometimes life that gets in your way as well. You know what I mean? It just, sometimes you get in your feelings. And last week, I think it was around Tuesday and Wednesday, here in Toronto, man, you guys, whoever's in Toronto, whoever's in Ontario, whoever got a little bit of that snow, that last minute snow from Mother Nature, man, you all know what I'm talking about. It's just because we've all been cooped up for so long, very restricted, and that last batch of snow just got to me, man. I was just like looking outside, everything was gray, couldn't really go out, it was kind of cold and chilly willy, and yeah, I got a little bit into my own feelings and just like, it was a couple of days of whatever, having to ride through those thoughts and emotions, but it was all right. All in all, gradually we got towards the end of the week, we picked ourselves right back up and we pushed through it, and here we are, man. We got to the weekend. Man, oh man, it was an exciting weekend, you guys. So much went down. I was talking about watching the UFC fight, UFC 261, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't get a chance, man. Didn't get a chance to watch the full matches. I did catch the highlights on Sunday morning, but the reason why I missed watching the UFC, I guess, was because I was busy, dude. I'm a grown man. I gotta take care of business, Had to, wanted to spend some time with my lady. Wanted to, and we came across some mushrooms, dude, some psilocybin mushrooms, dude. It just, it appears in your life and you gotta go and dabble a little bit. Again, I'm not condoning anything, you just know your boy likes to live life freely without any limitations and be the master of my own domain in a sense, dude. So I choose what I put in my body, I choose what I don't want to put in my body, and to each their own, man. I just like psilocybin a little bit. Your boy doesn't like to go overboard. How much did I come across, dude? 0.5, dude. Half a gram, that's all your boy needs. A little stem, little tiny cap, half a gram, you're good to go. Pop that bad boy in, wait half an hour, enjoy your day. That's what it was, man. Just got a lot done, a lot of attendance to the inner being, a lot of attendance to Robbie Rob. And, I hope my girl got the same out of her day. I'm pretty sure she did. It was just, mushrooms, man, if you do it with a person that you can trust, if it's good vibes, if it's a person that you love and care about, or group of friends, if you guys jam, it's a really nice, experiment you can do, and to each their own. I never like to go overboard. I have, tried mushrooms several times in different dosages, if you will. I'm not condoning anything, but overall, now and again that I'm a little bit older, every once in a blue moon, if I happen to, be walking down the street and a mushroom goes, yo, Robbie Rob, crack a little stem and pop me in your mouth, dude, I'll go ahead and do that, and that's what it was. So if you happen to come across some psilocybin, and if you're into that kind of stuff, do it, man. It's a hell of a lot of fun. Got to, just walk around the city. It was, again, Saturday, so I guess we walked around the city. It was a portion that I saw a bunch of people getting ready to, I guess, head to the anti-lockdown protests. Personally, I'm not like, I'm with the peepsies, dude. I'm always with team humanity and going with the people, but I don't like large crowds. I don't like, especially when you're on a spiritual little trip, if you will. You don't want to, I was just in my bubble with my lady and just, walking down the street. So we saw a little crowd and we just decided to divert, to go around, find another path. The city is huge. Find some places that you like to explore, and we did. We definitely did. And it's just like, walking a little bit, feeling that little extra, touch of the psilocybin, and we got a little bit hungry. Not gonna lie to you. Went to Mickey D's, dude. Got some chicken nuggets, got some barbecue sauce, got some fries, I got a medium Coke, my girl got a small Coke, and sat on a bench, found a nice bench. We did a little bit of benching of our own, spent some quality time, and yeah, we got up, and as soon as I got up, and this was maybe around the hour mark that we'd ingested these magical shroomsies. So I got up, and as soon as I got up, I guess the food was digesting, the blood was running through my system, and boom, it kicked in, dude. And it went from a little tingling sensation in my brain and my body to really, all of a sudden colors started to get highlighted a little bit more. The green on the leaves just, it was a little bit extra clear. Walking down, everybody just, you feel people, there's this extra connection that you feel people on another level. And it was just like in my head with my girl, she was also in her, like we were in the same headspace and just like walking, talking, and I'm like, man, I wish everybody could experience this, and to a certain degree I guess you can, but that's why I like to talk about these things. I think there's so much goodness in nature. Mother Nature provides us with so many blessings that if you're a responsible adult, you can go ahead and enjoy it. If you're of age, you can responsibly go ahead and enjoy many things. Again, I'm not condoning anything, but that's the thing, man. When it comes to substances and experimenting, there's so many things out there that are far worse than weed or mushrooms, yet we've been generationally consuming them, whether it's tobacco or alcohol. And again, I'm not saying these things to be like, oh, well, these are bad, let's ban. No, my whole outlook on life is legalize everything, make sure, everything's decriminalized, destigmatized, and instead of, putting money and allocating it towards crime and punishment, maybe allocate that resource and money to, finding better ways of actually helping people who really need it. Because yeah, man, way back in then, up until very recently, laws are changing, but man, I can't believe it. There's been, how many people have been arrested for just having a little bit of weed on them? Good Lord. So let's get the ball, it's already rolling, but let's really open it up and leave it to people to make sound decisions based on their own, research and getting to know themselves, getting to know them, because it feels weird. It feels like, it's like a monopoly on drugs and substances by the government, and I don't like that. I think you should be, to me, weed is no different than tomatoes and potatoes, dude, or it's just an herb or a spice. And mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms are no different than the regular mushrooms you consume on a regular. You know what I'm talking about? So it's just like, I don't find that it's appropriate for governments to ban substances and allocate a lot of energy and resources on, it didn't work out, man. We saw the result. It didn't work. The fight on drugs, the war on drugs doesn't really work out. And I think there's a responsible method of using everything to your advantage. And yeah, man, I just had a blast. And overall, I've never even had even on my bad trips on mushrooms, it wasn't even like the trip that was bad. It was just like, again, when you dabble into mushrooms or anything a little bit like psychedelic like that, sometimes it'll just resurface thoughts that if you've suppressed, or you try not to pay attention to it, because a lot of us have so many things that we need to be focused on all the time. So a lot of things that might be, low-key bothering you, just push it under and you just dismiss it. And psilocybin, weed, sometimes these things, just bring those thoughts forward and make you deal with them. And that's the best thing to do, is to deal with things. You shouldn't be suppressing thoughts, you shouldn't be suppressing emotions. And yeah, I never condone anything, again, substance use, anything. If you ever even see me smoking a cigarette outside, or even smoking a little J outside, I'm a full-grown adult and I'm not condoning anything. But again, if you are of age and you want to be experimenting, who am I to tell you what to do, or who's anybody else out there, to tell you what to do and what not to do? I think there's so many good things out there that if we all, if we wanted to, if it was left to our choice and we decided to dabble in it, we'd find a lot of amazing rewards. Yeah, so it was a great experience. It was a great experience. I've never done mushrooms with my lady. This was the first time. We did a little, again, nothing overboard, you guys. Half a gram. It's all it takes. Get a little, and yeah, there's some people that'll watch the video, be like, bro, if it was me, dude, I'd like, cram like 8 grams of shroomsies in my throat and just like trip. I'm like, I've done higher dosages. I'm like, I'm over that. I'm over that aspect of that. I've done those things in, my younger stages of life. I'm not looking to get a party going or get around. No, especially when it comes to weed and mushrooms and stuff like that. It's a spiritual experiment for me. It's a spiritual experience and an experiment, and it just teaches me stuff. It makes me more appreciative of life. It makes me feel more connected to my humans and my people, and it just reminds me that really we're all one. And yeah, I wish other people would allow themselves to experiment with these things and not be so worried or caught up about, or worried about the stigmas or what other people think. And that's what it is, man. If you happen to come across it and you know what you're doing, go ahead and do it. Enjoy life. That's what it is, man. That's what we did. So that's why I missed the actual fight. Was just not on the agenda, dude. Once you pop a little bit of that psilocybin, enjoy the day. No loosey goosey. No fixed agendas. And that's what it was, man. But the other day, Sunday morning, I got up, briefly watched the highlights, and shout out to all the fighters who went out there and did a live show in front of audiences, man. It was so exciting to see people out there just like, gathering for a special occasion. And yeah, shout out to the UFC, because they've been kind of pioneering all these like events from the get-go, and you got to give credit when it's due. So hats off. And yeah, I never, I didn't place any bets or anything. I was just planning on watching the fight if I got a chance, or going back and watching the highlights. I was mainly, not to say the other, like, ton of great fighters doing great things, but my main focus, like, on the fights, I just want to see Usman versus Masvidal. Shout out to Usman, you did it, and Masvidal took it like, he took his defeat like a champ. He took it, with dignity, and gave respect back to Usman, and that's what it is, man. Those two guys, or anybody else on those certain levels, when you go in and compete together and you fight or you perform together, whatever it is, it's like doing a little dance that only you and the other person can really relate to. So I really do believe at the end of the day, despite what we see on the media, despite how it's all built up, I do really believe, and I see it in their faces, I see it in their demeanor, that they've got a real sense of respect for each other's work ethic, overall. They got a lot of respect, and they got my respect to anybody on that level doing something professionally and bringing entertainment, sports, proper healthy competition. I appreciate it. Was I rooting for one guy over the other? Hell yeah, man. Masvidal's been my boy for a while. I've been watching his career every now and again, trying to catch as many fights as I can. It's been like, shout out, man. And that's what it is. Sometimes things happen. It doesn't always go your way. You just get up and roll with the punches and move on to the next project, whatever it may be. So well wishes to both those fighters. That was the card that I was really planning on watching. Everybody else fighting too was, very exciting. I watched a little bit of the highlights. The ladies putting on a great show. Everybody. The entire event it just made me happy. The biggest aspect that made me happy was seeing people out and about, seeing people in a crowd, seeing people, get excited, and it's just like, man, that's what I want to see. I want to see more of us attending more shows and what have you. But it got me to think a little bit. You know what I'm talking about? Because like, your boy likes competition, your boy likes a little bit of the sports every now and again. And suggestion, just throwing it out there, spitballing ideas. Shark Tank, if you're listening, or the UFC, or anybody else who's interested, why don't we break it down a little bit? Like, we got the UFC, you got other sports, whatever it is. I think we should have realms. I think you should have a realm of competition where it's just like, everybody's coming in clean, natural, fighting, doing that thing, doing that. I mean, we know nobody's been on steroids, we know everybody's clean, everybody's been tested, and we can have that realm. An additional realm, again, part of my brain's like, Rob, this isn't the most ethical or moral thing to do, but I'm like, man, it's hella entertaining, dude. Another realm could maybe potentially exist where you juice up these bad boys and bad gals, and it's all just like, juice them up to the gills, however much they like, and just like let them go at it. Let them go. It's their free will. They want to decide to step into that ring, in that domain, and do their thing. Be hella exciting. And not to say that there aren't some doing it right now, and I'm not a professional. I'm not going to just be like calling out random names out of my derriere, but you know what I'm talking about, dude. Have different realms. Have a different realm for, clean, natural fighters, and then have a different realm of just like, juice to the gills, monsters. Ugh. Kicking butt, dude. And then, you think I'm stopping there? No. No. You got to have 3 realms. Okay, so we got the clean, au natural realm, where everybody's just doing their thing. You got the juice realm doing their thing. And then the third, which I think would be the most exciting thing. Why don't we create another, and this to me, like, hear me out, all right? Again, just throwing out ideas. What if we created a competition, whether it's boxing, whether it's bare knuckle boxing or MMA or something, but you come in and you don't have to be an athlete, you don't have to be a professional, and the requirements are actually for you to be somewhat intoxicated. I say minimum 2 shots of your choice, minimum 2 shots. Okay, you take 2 shots of tequila, you know, get that little Mexican fiesta going inside you, take a couple of hits of the joint, get out there and just like fight. That'd be exciting because yeah, like, oh man, or you know, have a couple of guys finish a couple of pints of beer and then just go out and you're like, man, this does not sound like fun. Trust me, dude, it would be a hell of a lot of fun. And you're like, we did that in the past, dude, and people would like, you know, go kill each other. I'm like, that was the past. This is now. The future is here. The present is now. We are the future. I say, let them get intoxicated, and we'll have referees mitigating, right? We wouldn't let it get to like, we'll have different, it'll have to like, I'm just throwing out the initial idea out there. We'll have to like tweak it out and everything, but you'll have, you know, reinforcements. We'll make sure everything, you know, they got proper mats and what have you. Maybe not an octagon, maybe it'd be a ring, and you'd have different referees so that if things got out of hand, and you'd have big giant referees that'll just like pull them aside and be like, guys, it's done, you got knocked out, or you got knocked out. But that, wouldn't that be exciting, dude? Because that's something that I would be, yeah. Because there's still a part of me that likes to like compete and do athletics, but that's not my life, dude. These guys who are in the UFC or other professional, again, they've been dedicating 15, 20, 30 years of their lives to a craft. That's not my thing. But low key, there is a part of me that if there was like, you know, let's say you're driving through a county, dude. Say you're cruising through a county, and then you see a big ass sign. It says, the most ultimate of fights, or whatever. Come on down, grab a drink, get a little bit loosey-goosey, have yourself a fight. You never know, dude. How exciting. That'd be kind of like the realistic, you know, it'd be kind of like Fight Club, if you will, but like you bare minimum 2 shots or a pint of something and then go at it. And you don't have to be a professional. And I think that should also exist, you know, just shooting around ideas. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, man, I would love to see people like before get a couple of drinks in them. Again, you don't have to be professional, but get out there and just put on a show. And to be honest, yeah, I'd be interested, dude. That's something that I may even personally, you know, if you're up for the challenge, that's something that I may even, you know, partake in myself. Let's have a couple of shots, pow pow pow, go at it. Again, I'm not different realms, okay? This is not for the professional fighter. You can't be like a professional fighter and then be like, yeah, I'm gonna. No, this is for, yeah, 3 realms. You want to do it the au natural way, you go into something like the UFC. You want to do it in the juiced world, you go to ultimate juicing competitions or whatever it is, man. Just get juiced up, get really big, and just pow pow pow, do all that stuff. And then there's the third realm where you're not professional fighters, but you know, you've been considering it, and that's what I'm saying, man. I'm 31. I can't be dedicating my life right now to fighting, but I'm just saying, if there was a chance to, you know, I'm a little bit intrigued. All right, that's what I'm saying. It's just a little bit interesting. All right. A little bit interesting is all I'm trying to say. So think it over, put it on the back burner. Let me know what you guys think. Would you guys like to see intoxicated people beat the crap out of each other? I think, again, we're not talking about morals and ethics today, guys, all right? Maybe we are, maybe we aren't. But I think that'll be hella exciting, and who knows? Who knows? Sky's the limit. Think it over. Man, oh man. Man, oh man, ladies and gents, so there's so many things going on. And another realm of fighting. Again, I've said it before. I think we should all just like get our politicians involved in some sort of a fighting event. Whenever like you'll have global tensions rising, put in all your, you know, world leaders. We'll put in Justin Trudeau. It's actually pretty, yo, low key. If there was an ultimate fighting for world leaders, JT, young guy, I wouldn't mind, backing my dude, because like, ugh, America, you gotta, yeah, Biden. I don't know how Biden would put up in like a fight. Maybe he's juicing right now. I'd hope he's juicing right now, because like let's keep him going at least for another 3 years. Let's not have him like pass out or anything, dude. Let's get him on the juice. But yeah, man, other world leaders, like you'll have Putin come in, you'll have Lil Kim, come in, because like he'll come in and like a Mortal Kombat, but like for real. You'll have Khamenei come in. Oh well, I don't know. Again, I don't know how useful he'll be. He's got like one hand. He's been old forever, dude. That guy's been old forever. But that's the thing. Anytime you have like national or like global like tensions like that, I think you should just like leave the people be, because people are gooch. People like to have food. People like to have a little drinky poo every now and again. People like to listen to music, dance, have fun, chit chat, learn about each other's cultures. And then you got like 5 people who are like, I gotta have it all, dude. It's all mine. Go have at it. Have at it. But it's weird times, and that's the thing, because I say these things because it's like, yeah, or like who's you gotta just provide a realm where people aren't compromised, but the people who want to be compromising other people, they should be compromised, if that makes sense. I don't know. Think it over. Because it's, yeah, man, there's so many weird things going on. Like Russia's moving, they've already moved into Crimea. It seems a little bit like they're just like putting more military forces near Ukraine. That's, and then you got China taking over Hong Kong. You got Iran moving into Iraq and like Syria little by little, and like so many different powers just like trying to, and I'm like, man, the people of most places, because again, I've been privileged enough luckily to have traveled to a few different spots in the world, not too many, but a few, to be able to tell that, man, people are more or less very much the same, besides the little cultural habits that we've got going on for us. But everything else, like the basic human needs and wants, are the same. Everybody wants a little bit of food, everybody wants a little roof over their head, everybody wants access to amenities so they can go out there, whether it's education, healthcare, good police department to watch over you, firefighters fighting fires, stuff like that. We all want those safeties and amenities. It's just sometimes you'll have people who are like, no, it's just my way, you gotta do it my way. And it's like, man, if you really want to, like, if you want to be large and in charge, put on the gloves and get in there. Or something. I don't know. Spitballing ideas out there. Because it's just like, yeah, at a time like this, during this pandy, dude, I think it's just time that we just collectively like get together and work together. And anybody who wants to have conflict or doesn't want to make things move along, get into the ring, dude. Get in the ring. You got beef, step into the ring. That's what I'm saying. So many things that we need to be talking about, you guys. So many things that we need to be talking about. Where do we even start? There's so many, like, did you guys hear about that? We're now using, I think, again, I'm butchering this, it's not but I've, again, read a little bit, heard a little bit, we're using monkeys to grow human body parts and whatnot. Again, this is a little bit alarming. Yeah, I like science. I'm a man of progress. I like to see good things happening. I'd like to be, sometimes we're just doing so many different things. It's like, and then, why did I say we're circling? Because at the end of the day, there's so many big things going on, but most of us are just like circling around the same thought patterns. At least a certain part of our life anyway. You know what I'm talking about? And it's just like, while you're circling around, on the periphery, there's all these big things going on that have drastic implications on all our lives, man. Should we be experimenting with, we've already been cloning animals, and who's to say other countries aren't low-key cloning humans, dude, in some underground research facility? Who's to say? Or advancement of like weapons. Yikes, so many things that we need to just like be able to like unite and really like, instead of like there's this whole old school method of thinking that we're all like, because we're playing poker, keep your cards tight to your chest and like don't share anything, and then at the end this will just be, this will perpetuate this unhealthy competition. We should be all like cooperating together. That's the message that I'm trying to send out today. And yeah, I wish people would, because there's so many things that could help us realize these things, a little bit of meditation, a little bit of just like leaving people be to experiment with different substances, go read about different things, just learn about life, travel freely without. But that's the thing, sometimes there's so many restrictions where it's like the littlest thing that you want to like dabble into, it's going to come with a lot of restrictions and limitations. But that's what it is, man. I think the more people openly talk about things, the more we can get the ball rolling. And yeah, enough of the fear tactics, enough of the lockdowns. It's been more than a year. People are hurting. People need to get out there and socialize. We are social creatures, and there are so many things that needed to be fixed prior to COVID that just got exacerbated during this time. And I think we're doing a horrible job at this point. I'm sorry, but like, I'm not even sorry. The leadership is, for the most part, acting very selfishly, or at least that's what it seems like, because I have seen far too many people lose their businesses out there. I have now seen their videos online of the number of people going out there and protesting every Saturday that are against the anti-lockdowns, and rightly so. I think we're at that point where we can assess, again, not to pinpoint or scapegoat anybody or put the blame on anybody. Initially, when it just came out, sure, lock it down, but now it's been more than a year. Enough is enough. All right, you guys, enough is enough. Set a date, set it and forget it, and let's open up businesses. Anybody who has underlying health concerns or issues, whether it's diabetes, respiratory issues, whatever it may be, you should already be taking care of your health on a regular basis. If you're obese, go get a little bit of run time, go for a jog, go for a hike, try a different diet. But all this year, I just seem to, be hearing the same rhetoric and discourse being pushed out by mass media, because obviously there is money to be made. Money to be made by multinational pharmaceutical conglomerates, multinational conglomerates that are running businesses all over the world, who can afford to keep their doors open, who can afford to, because they have so much money, they run everything. And again, and we rely on them too, not to pinpoint the blame on anybody. That's the thing. We need to think of everybody. We need to think that everybody should have access to fend for themselves, to be able to go out there. It's ridiculous the number of restaurants that I see that have been closed, comedy clubs that have been closed, little shoe stores, little this, that, like everything is just like, and aren't we all essential? I highly believe that we're all essential. Everything that we do is reliant on each other, and there's nobody out there doing it on their own. So I don't see how this is the best way. I absolutely no longer anyway. And that's the thing. I'm trying to keep a level-headed mind when I'm approaching these topics, because I know there's so many different things that we need to be talking and discussing, but it just seems like, hey man, you just keep putting on the same remedy or the same band-aid. Lock it down, put a mask on it, lock it down. Enough of the masking, enough of the lockdowns. People need to be able to make their own free decisions. The vaccine's out. If you want to go get it, you should be able to go get it. It shouldn't be mandated. There should not be any passports. There should not be a merit system. There should not be any mandatory measures taken to enforce that somebody's getting vaccinated. And yeah, sometimes it's not done by, at least here in the West, because I've seen some videos in places like India where people are out, just doing their thing, I guess, like being outside, and like I think they were breaking curfew or something. And again, like the fact that we've set curfews in different places, we are stepping and walking and dancing on a very slippery slope, you guys. Globally, I think like everybody needs to like wake up. And again, I'm not talking about anything like that has anything to do with woke culture. I'm literally just like talking about looking out there and seeing the world for what it is, and being a little bit of a realist in terms of, I'm not dismissing anything, I'm not saying nothing's but all I'm saying is the numbers are out there, sure, but it's not even as bad as we make it to be. The number of deaths are, again, Google it, the number of deaths are less than 1%. It's been like that and now we've got vaccines. Again, if you want to go get it, by all means go get it. If you don't want to go get it, you shouldn't be forced to do anything you don't want to do. And instead of making and creating a society where we can all have access to resources, and most of those resources that we need access to are social services, going to a church, going to a gym, going to an AA meeting, going to an arts and crafts meeting, going to pubs, going to restaurants, going to comedy clubs, going to different, it all depends on us being open and catering to each other. It makes no sense that we have gone to this extent, and the longer we let it go, the far worse we are going to be in the end. So this, instead, like, let's not, because this can easily get out of hand, and we could just like have again, I've talked about this, and again, I don't want to be a gloomy Gus, I don't want to come in here and sound like a downer, but if we continue on this path, we are just creating another repetition of a global massive depression. And I see it in people, I see it in myself a little bit. Times get rough, I get in my feelings. I see people struggling for money, I see people that have had to close down their businesses, people who can't afford to take care of their children or provide food or look after the parents that need to be looked after. Everything is just dependent on each other, and we're just told to no, you sit down and basically shut up, and because if you say anything, you are killing grandparents, you are putting people at risk, you are and all of a sudden you catch yourself in this position where you'd have to defend yourself from a very unfair starting point. The masking, I don't like that. I don't like masks. I don't like anybody, because like coming from where I come from, I really I value freedom more than anything. I don't care about money as much. I care about freedom to the fullest extent that we can have freedom, right? We've talked about these things. But I don't want anybody telling people to wear something as a mandatory gesture. That to me is very much borderline like what, just look at what happened. 1979 Iran, what happened with the wearing of the hijab? And I'm not, trying to say nothing, but just look at what happens when you give an inch, they take an arm, is all I'm trying to say. Please look out there for examples where freedoms have been stepped on and trampled. Look at the larger scale issues. Don't just look at the now and you getting your bag, because it's just unethical, it's not fair, and it's not cool. So now we are heading in a direction of creating a very, everybody policing each other, having the right to go up to somebody and be like, you should adjust your mask, or you should wear a mask. Who are you to tell anybody to do anything? Who is why should we even engage in these conversations? This is where they want us to get reduced to. And a portion of it has to do with control, and you can have control, but this is not the proper way. This is not the proper way. People have dignity and respect and deserve that dignity and respect, and right now we're trampling a lot of freedoms. We're just telling people when to go out, when not to go out, how many people they should be. How do you know? Like, that's the thing. I would hate for somebody to have been locked up during this year and they've not gotten COVID, but because of all the other repercussions, you know how many people have died because of depression, because of overdoses, because of so many other illnesses that gets stepped aside, and we just put it aside and we're just focusing on this one thing, COVID, and we're forgetting about what's a bigger pandemic than COVID that we don't talk about? There's so many of them, but one of them is homelessness. Do you know how many people are homeless right now? How come that never gets talked about? Just Google it. Google the numbers. So I'm not telling you these things. Google how many people are homeless in Ontario and Toronto and Canada. Google how many people are homeless in California, places like Skid Row. Google these numbers. Those numbers are far more outrageous and scary to me than just the regular schmovid, COVID, whatever. And that's the thing. Is this the best way to go about it, with these things being always, different variants, we cannot go on living like this. We cannot go on living like this. And there are a lot of countries that have been economically drained, not just because of COVID. Prior to COVID, a lot of countries have been, globally, we have been riding this wonderful ride and pretending that we don't see it. But everybody's, for the most part, 99.9% of people, I would say, are in some sort of a debt. Where do you get these monies from? The banks, the governments, and a lot of governments are in debt. A lot of governments are essentially bankrupt, and we just keep printing money, and we just keep, pretending it's not there, pretending it's not, and we're just gonna let it exacerbate and get worse and worse, and until it really, I don't know how it's gonna unfold, but this is not the right way. Set a date, be firm with it. We've tried different methods of just, lockdown, it's not working, further lockdowns, that's not working, more lockdowns, and lockdowns don't work, dude. Lockdowns don't work. Look at places like Texas, look at places like Florida. Great examples, man. I just saw, looking at Florida, looking at Texas, it's inspiring. It's really, and it gives me hope, because it makes me believe that there's still people out there valuing freedom, valuing alternative ways of approaching issues and tackling them, instead of just being like robotic about it and just having this one rhetoric and being extremely selfish, essentially, not considering everything else. I think overall, personally, like, for the most part, again, like, I'm very happy with my life. I'm very, relatively speaking, you know what I mean? That's the thing, like, what have I said? Every day that you get up, it's just practicing life and doing it better, and you'll get another chance tomorrow and another one tomorrow, but one day it'll stop. And I would hate to see people who have been locked up, who have not gotten the actual COVID virus, if you will, and have died, or if you know people who've committed suicide, if you know people that have overdosed, if you know people that were, battling with their mental health concerns, and now they've just gone overboard. And it's just like, it's a shame that we're not talking about these things. It's a shame that when it comes time to budgets, again, Canada had its talk of budgets. I did not hear anything beneficial. It was just thousands of pages worth of nonsense and jargon, and I think Canada right now, we're sitting at around 350 to 380, let's just say 350 to 400 billion dollars worth of deficits. And closing down businesses, keeping borders shut is not the way to solve it. It'll only exacerbate it. And the way we're approaching these concerns and issues is so inappropriate and just so one-dimensional. We look at everything, and at the end of it, well, can we afford it? Can we afford not to? Can we afford not to house people? Can we afford not to give back to mental health resources? Can we afford, or at least that's the thing, the budget, the money's always there. These are always subjective. The money's always there. It's just the way it gets allocated, right? Big politicians getting in with their interest groups, getting in with their lobbyists, getting in with their friends who are, just, greasing each other's pockets, rubbing elbows with the same people. How do, like, career politicians, some of them acquire so much wealth, and you're like, whoa, what? I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was Nancy Pelosi. Let me just double check this, dude. Just to give you an example. I want to make sure just the number that I'm giving you is correct. On Google, if you just like Google search Nancy Pelosi's net worth, 120 million is what's stated on Google. And that's just one example of it. Look at prime ministers, look at president. How do these people, like, you're supposed to be public servants, you're supposed to be helping people. How have you acquired millions and millions and millions of dollars, and you get to sit back comfortably, have different passports, have different access to different countries, have savings accounts, have businesses under your name or under somebody? It's so unfair the way we're proceeding with these things. It's just like, where do we draw the line? And I love capitalism, but I don't like unethical capitalism. And why is it fair that you have access to so much and so many other people don't? Why do businesses have to close down? Like, if you don't want to go, if you don't want to put yourself at risk, don't go to a restaurant. If you don't want to go to a comedy club, don't go to a comedy club. But if they want to open up and serve people and earn money, I see no reason as why we should be stopping them at this point. It's ridiculous. It's redunk. Like, it's insanity. It's what's the definition of insanity? Keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result, right? Right now, globally speaking, and I can't control all these other countries. You can't control all these other nations, but can we focus on at least what we've got at hand here at home, in Toronto and Ontario and Canada and the U.S.? Closure of borders, closure of businesses, and again, not all of the provinces and states act the same way, but it's like I'm so disappointed in the leaders out there who are really just, they've forgotten what it's like to be a regular person. When you have millions of dollars in your bank account and you don't have to worry about paying rent and you don't have to worry about making money. Sure, it's so easy for you to say lock it down. Yeah, absolutely, lock it down, absolutely, because you got so much that it doesn't impact you. You can hop on your private jet whenever you want. You can make sure your family's taken care of. You have all the security, all the amenities. And other people with whatever little resources they've had, they're just told to shut up, stay put, don't go out there. And if you do something like not wearing a mask or asking why am I being forced to put something in my body, you're now looked at as a danger in society. You're now looked as a rebel. And it's like, when did this become rebellion? Like, this is just common sense. Nobody should be forcing anybody to do anything. That's just common sense. And that's where we're at right now. It's just like, I took a little bit of shroomsies over the weekend, got reignited with all the thoughts that, again, we're so filled with potential and can be doing so many great things out there, and we're so cool. Majority of people are so fucking cool, man, and I love people. But there's always you'll have that portion of the population that's a little bit extra greedy, a little bit extra inhumane, and very one-dimensional when it comes to their way of thinking. And for some reason, we just keep electing these same people and putting them in the same places, and we expect different results. It's extremely uncool, it's extremely unethical, and yeah, I think there's definitely ways to be moving forward so that we can help more people, not just a limited few. Boys and girls, we talk about everything here. If it's your first episode coming in and tuning in, thank you. If you're a long-time listener, thank you very much for all your love and support. I see you guys out there on the streets, online, doing so many amazing, wonderful things. Keep up the good spirits, keep helping each other out, keep spreading actual talk, that's all I'm saying. Don't even, that's the thing, just talk to each other, hear each other out, and one step at a time we'll get through this and whatever else kind of curveball we're going to be thrown at. Love you guys. Stay safe out there. We got a lot to take care of, and we're just going to come in, man. We're going to just come in and take it on the chin, but we'll keep punching through those walls. There's nothing that can hold us back. We got this. Love you guys. Talk to y'all very soon. Please, if you like these videos, it makes a huge difference. Go ahead and like it on Instagram. Subscribe on YouTube so you get the full-length videos. And if you really want to support your boy, go ahead and support your boy on Patreon, dude. There's 3-tier systems. If you want to get involved in any shape or form, do it. Love you guys. Talk to y'all very soon. Stay safe out there. Peace out.